Christine, how much does it hurt the WNBA when Caitlin Clark is out?
It is devastating to the WNBA when Caitlin Clark is out.
Now, I know a lot of us were expecting some sort of dip since Caitlin Clark has been out with injury, but I don't think all of us were expecting the entire viewership of the entire WNBA to be down. And this tweet from Christine Brennan really stuck out to me. She said one player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears. Has any other athlete ever had that kind of impact on a sport? Golf without Tiger definitely dropped precipitously on occasion.
The WNBA is in a dire financial situation and is unable to prevent the collapse of their entire empire without Caitlin Clark on the court, proving once again how little this league has learned about protecting the one athlete who elevated them from obscurity to recognition. This is the story of a league that continues to injure itself while its star player is injured on the sidelines, and how their unwavering denial of reality is costing them millions of dollars every day.
And the truth is the truth, and the data is there. And what we saw when Caitlin was out the last time, the 5 games that she missed earlier in the season, the WNBA's viewership dropped more than 50%. Not just the Fever, but the entire league.
In this era of orchestrated drama and social media uproar, facts are as hard to come by as sold-out WNBA games without Caitlin Clark. When Clark was sidelined on May 24th due to a quad injury, the league's glaring dependence on a single player came to light. Due to a groin injury, she is temporarily sidelined till who knows when. As a result, what happened is happening again.
Jumped to her groin likely because of compensation. But the thing that you have to be careful of is if, say, you try to rush her back from this injury as well, then you're getting into this territory where a very serious injury can happen. That is what the Indiana Fever, that is what Caitlin need to avoid the best that they possibly can. So if it means that Caitlin is out for 3 weeks, if it means that she is out all the way through All-Star, then so.
Nationally televised WNBA viewership dropped by an incredible 55% from an average of 1.8181 million when Clark played to just 847,000 without her, while Indiana Fever games saw a 53% drop in viewership. However, this is the point at which the narrative becomes utterly ludicrous. And when we say ludicrous, we mean unavoidably terrible for a league that refuses to own up to its mistakes.
Went down. The WNBA ratings have dropped over 55% across the board.
Hey, guess what, guys?
The league is Caitlin Clark.
The league is Caitlin Clark. She is the WNBA, guys.
Sidelined with a left quad strain May 24th. National TV viewership has plunged since then 55%. Before the injury, the Fever, her team, were averaging 1.81 million viewers, almost 2 million. Since her injury, fewer than 850.
While Caitlin Clark was busy doing what she does best, filling arenas to capacity, smashing television rating records, and earning record-breaking revenue, the WNBA was busy doing what they do best and taking no action to protect their most valuable asset. While lecturing everyone about basketball plays, it seems appropriate to let opponents target a player who generates 26.5% of all WNBA economic activity without consequence. What's really fascinating, and by fascinating I mean furious, is how this identical circumstance has happened in the past. But the league doesn't appear to be able to get past its history. Following the injury of its best player, the WNBA has previously experienced a drop in revenue and viewership. It is comparable to seeing someone touch a hot stove, get burned, and then immediately reach for it again while claiming they were not aware of the danger.
News is alarming for the league, and it's alarming for the league because this is such a crucial year for the WNBA. At the end of this season, the WNBA will go into CBA negotiations. If negotiations go well, then every single player in the WNBA has a much better chance of making so much more in their next contract. And that's one thing when you start thinking about how many people stopped watching when Caitlin Clark got injured. A lot of people stopped watching because they are boycotting the WNBA. They don't want to give viewership to any other teams or any other players, whether they like other players on the team or not, because of how the media and the league itself has handled Caitlin Clark and how they have treated.
Please subscribe if you think this is entertaining. The financial disaster struck swiftly and mercilessly. Fever game tickets are now 71% less expensive, with some going from $860 to $250. For all of Clark's missed games, the average ticket price decreased from $1,370 to $80. A shocking decline that reveals a lot about who actually sparks interest in this league. Road games that were moved to larger locations, particularly to accommodate the demand for Clark tickets, are now struggling to fill arenas that would have been packed if she had been present. Tickets for the Chicago Sky vs. Fever rematch, one of the most anticipated games of the season, fell from $210 to $95. It was one of the most watched WNBA games ever, drawing 2.25 million viewers. But without Clark, it becomes just another game that is uninteresting to casual viewers.
What's really concerning about this is the fact that we are only a month into the regular season, and Caitlin Clark has already been out with 2 injuries. With the first one being her having to miss some time with a left quad strain. Now, of course, this is concerning because if you're already on your second injury, you don't want to be that player that is always hurt. Cough, cough, Embiid, cough, cough, Anthony Davis. So I really do hope that the Fever really sits her out right now for a while, only because you don't want her to have more long-term injuries and be more prone.
Veteran sports writer Christine Brennan is one of the most vocal opponents of the WNBA's treatment of its star player. Her upcoming book, On Her Game, Caitlin Clark and the Revolution in Women's Sports, promises to expose the league's flaws. After Clark was singled out by opponents once more, Brennan said, "The WNBA continues to fail to meet the moment. This is what people see when they watch in greater numbers than ever before." Brennan's critique is direct and concise. Over half of the league's television viewers are drawn to Clark alone, according to league statistics. They still allow her to receive harsh fouls and cheap shots, though, which are only meant to frighten their main attraction. It's like seeing a restaurant owner allow customers to make fun of the chef whose food is the only thing drawing them in.
Man, bruh. Congratulations to the WNBA. Your ratings are going to drop by 55 to 60% once again. I believe the WNBA have successfully broken Caitlin.
The trend is becoming both frustrating and predictable. Opponents who appear more concerned in making statements than playing basketball regularly foul Clark. 5 of the league's 30 egregious fouls against Clark happened in 2024, with the Chicago Sky accounting for 80% of those flagrant fouls. When she reacts to the physical play, she attracts criticism for being unnecessarily confrontational. She receives criticism for being soft when she doesn't reply. The league has created a scenario where there is no winner and is unwilling to solve it. In the meantime, the WNBA ecosystem as a whole, not just the Fever, is still being devastated financially. This year, the league was already set to lose $50 million. Notwithstanding the Clark-driven spike in popularity, those losses are increasing at a shocking rate while she is not playing. As television ratings plummet, goods sales stall and attendance numbers revert to their pre-Clark levels.
As big a deal as Tiger was in men's golf, Keith, he did, and when he was gone, it affected the ratings, but nothing like that. And, Michael Jordan being out, maybe a 5 percentage points or something. Nothing like this. You can make a strong case, and I will make that case, and have that there is no one single athlete more important to his or her sport or tour, or whatever the circuit is that they play on, than Caitlin Clark is to the W.
The fact that this whole calamity was entirely avoidable is its most terrible feature. Clark was a modest rookie when she initially entered the game, often complimenting her colleagues and diverting attention away from herself. For a 22-year-old, she exhibited great maturity and elegance in handling criticism. The league had the opportunity to welcome her, shield her, and capitalize on her fame to improve the game as a whole. Rather, they let petty politics and jealousy destroy what ought to have been a women's basketball celebration. The effects of a Clark's injuries extend far beyond TV ratings and ticket sales. Corporate sponsors contributed millions of dollars, but in light of the Clark-driven development, many now question the rationality of their decisions. This situation draws attention to a significant problem with the WNBA's public image. The league seems to be caught between wanting to be taken seriously as a professional basketball enterprise and embracing every bit of contrived drama that could fuel social media activity. You are unable to have both of them. Professional colleagues protect their stars while upholding the integrity of competition. High school drama groups try to get attention by stirring up controversy.
I don't even know where to begin, man. I hope Caitlin Clark is okay. I want to know when this injury even happened, bro, because let's be serious here. She has the quad injury. Mind you, Caitlin Clark hadn't missed a game since she was like 19 years old, since she was like 18 in college or something. Now she has a groin injury. We've never seen Caitlin Clark play as bad as she played the last 3 games. Let's just be serious here. She's like 1 for 20-something on threes in the last 3. We've never seen her shoot the ball this way. I'll say that. Has she been hurt and playing through?
Female basketball players. It is embarrassing to see how different it is from other professional sports leagues. What if the NBA allowed players to attack LeBron James with dirty plays for months while insisting that the sport was solely competitive? That would be immediately prohibited by the league, and players would be suspended faster than you could call a flagrant foul. Nonetheless, it seems that the WNBA is content to let this harmful tendency to persist. They appear to believe that any attention is beneficial. WNBA fans are refusing to go to other games because they no longer think the sport is competitive due to the toxic environment created by the league's failure to defend Clark. You have a serious credibility problem that goes much beyond your salary and ratings. When your own fans claim they won't watch games without your biggest star because they don't think the officiating will be fair.
I admire about Caitlin. She's a warrior. She's tough. You hear me? Bruh, you just don't see players. You don't see female basketball players like her. I'm sorry. I done seen a lot of female basketball players, like I said.
The WNBA has had multiple opportunities to turn things around, but they have continuously failed, which just makes things worse. Every incident involving Clark should have warned the league to establish clear rules for player safety and fair play. Instead, in response to each case, the same stale responses about basketball plays and letting the players play have been provided. Ironically, Clark's injury, exactly what the league should have been attempting to prevent, has provided the clearest indicator of her value to the organization. The 55% drop in viewing is not insignificant. Nevertheless, there isn't much sign that the WNBA has learned the lesson in spite of this overwhelming evidence. League officials frequently make statements like competitive balance and allowing players to be physical, as if harsh fouls and dirty moves were somehow essential to the game. They are still ignoring extremely dangerous plays against Clark, while treating her participation in routine basketball plays as a significant occurrence.